Good afternoon, folks. This is Deb. And today, we've got something important to talk about. Now, it may not seem to affect all of you, but at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong about that. I did write a Substack piece on this, and I did post that on social media, but I know many people don't go to Substack, and that's unfortunate. It's an excellent site. And my Substack account is completely free. There are no subscription charges whatsoever. But be that as it may, I thought this was an important enough story that I would make a video on it to make sure I have all of the avenues covered. So we are here again to talk about another major educational institution, UPenn, caving to Donald Trump. Now, UPenn recently stripped Lia Thomas, a transgender swimmer, of her collegiate and NCAA collegiate titles at UPenn. Okay. These were competitions not only on the scholastic level, but competitions in the NCAA Division I bracket. The whole NCAA issue is dead in the water because Charlie Baker, who used to be our governor here in Massachusetts, left politics because he hated Donald Trump so much. But as soon as he got to be the head of the NCAA, he banned transgender athletes completely. And he banned transgender athletes completely because he said Donald Trump gave him a clear path to what he had to do. None of these people need to cave to Donald Trump. Let me just say that flat out. But be that as it may, Lia Thomas, when she competed as a transgender athlete, and she started out her career at UPenn as a male swimmer, she transitioned while at the university and competed in, I believe, her final year as a female swimmer. And she won those titles fair and square. At the time, you could compete in the NCAA as a transgender athlete. You could compete at UPenn as a transgender athlete. Now, both factions have banned that entirely in acquiescence to Donald Trump. But my problem is that she competed and won fair and square. Those records should never have been taken from her. Again, this is an example of Donald Trump trying to wipe out the transgender community, to disavow that they even exist. Much in the same way that he took them off of the Stonewall website. Okay, and he recently just took bisexual people off the Stonewall website. Pretty soon he will take gays and lesbians off there too and insist that the whole Stonewall incident either didn't exist or was a vast left-wing conspiracy. But I digress. So let's talk about this, because probably the biggest rub in all of this for me is not only did they give Lia Thomas's victories to the people who lost to her, who came in second behind her, but they were forced to send out a letter of apology to these people for making their victories harder by giving Lia Thomas an unfair advantage. So let's talk about that for a minute, because I will have in this video evidence that Lia Thomas had no advantage over these women that she was competing against. None. Okay? The science doesn't back any of that up. This is built on the construct that men are physically stronger than women, which has been a construct now for decades, for years, for eons. Women who work, who participate in professional sports, or even collegiate sports, do work out. They do build muscle. There are women bodybuilders on the planet. Caitlin Clark spent her summer working out on weights to build muscle. Okay? So if there was such a perceived advantage here, then let me reiterate something. In Lia Thomas's final year of competition, which was 2022, she came in 8th in the 100-meter freestyle, 8th. She tied for 5th in the 200-meter freestyle. And she won the 500-meter freestyle. But she finished 9 seconds off Katie Ledecky's record. So she broke no time record whatsoever. In fact, during her entire career, she did break several Ivy League records, but never broke one NCAA record. In her final year in 2022, 27 records were broken in the NCAA competitions. Not one of them was a record that was broken by Lia Thomas. But my point is bigger than this, okay? Number one, the President of the United States has no business being involved in this kind of shit. No business whatsoever, okay? Lia Thomas, as I have said, competed in a time when women were allowed to do this, and these records should not have been stripped from her. And had UPenn had the courage to stand up to Donald Trump, they would not have been stripped from her. Had Donald Trump never done what he did in going after UPenn, UPenn would never have taken these records away from her. They're cowards. And the more that these cowardly educational institutions capitulate to Donald Trump, and the more that the cowardly media outlets capitulate to Donald Trump, it makes all of our lives harder. It makes us fighting against Donald Trump and fascism in this country harder. The government has no business in any of this, but let me tell you what's going on in America right now. The Department of Education is investigating 60 universities all across this nation on a variety of topics. Probably the most prevalent one is anti-Semitism, which essentially translates into, if you are supporting Palestinian rights, you are anti-Semitic. That's exactly where we are today. Apparently, you can't care about the fact that the Palestinian peoples are being genocided out of existence without being an anti-Semite. The fact that we have the federal government involved in doing all of this should be reminiscent of people who remember Adolf Hitler. The first thing Adolf Hitler did was attack higher education. Let this be a warning to everybody. The more we have higher education institutions cutting a deal with the devil, the more difficult it is for the rest of us to survive here. Now, we're all talking about direct actions. Everybody should be writing to UPenn. Everybody. And everybody should be writing to any other university like Columbia that bent the knee to Trump, because in this case, these educational institutions are no longer just bending the knee, they're bending over. This is unacceptable. I will talk to you all later.